Yes, I have arrived. I am now the Mazi. I am the chief. I am the emir. Everybody bow and worship before me. But guess who could not eat? Guess who could not sleep? Hello and welcome, beautiful people. Today we are going to be diving into real life actionable lessons that we can apply to our day-to-day lives from the book of Daniel. So as part of my one-year Bible study, I read the book of Daniel last week, and these lessons I picked out for myself and I thought to share with you. And I am not saying I'm perfect. Number one, I'm not a pastor. Number two, these are not things I do. Like, these are things that I picked for me to apply to my life. And I thought, why not record and share with my people? And that's why I'm here. So let's just start. The first lesson, usually this part of the Bible where I picked the first lesson, people would say, don't compromise, stick to your value and all that. Yes, don't compromise, stick to your values, don't bow to pressure. And also, this part of the Bible, Daniel was saying, eat healthy food. You're saying, please, where in the book of Daniel did that happen? Let's read it. Daniel 1:8. Daniel made up his mind not to let himself be ritually unclean by eating the food and drinking the wine of the royal court. So he asked Ashpenaz to help him. And God made Ashpenaz sympathetic to Daniel. Ashpenaz, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but he is one of the advisors in the royal court. And he was sympathetic, but he was afraid of the king. So he said to Daniel, the king has decided what you are to eat and drink. And if you don't look as fit as the other young men, he may kill me. So Daniel went to the guard whom Ashpenaz has placed in charge of him and his 3 friends. Test us for 10 days, he said. Give us vegetables and water to drink. What is Daniel saying there? Eat vegetables, drink water. And these days we add, mind your business. Just kidding about that. So instead of Daniel to eat things like pizza, donut, ice cream, he asked for broccoli, fish, chicken, spinach, kale, and the other healthy things. Instead of soda, he's requesting for zobo. Instead of sugary drink that they will put 100% juice and pineapple, he's asking for the real orange, the real pineapple and all that. And he's asking for water. Daniel hydrated. Let's see what finally happened in verse 15 to 16. When the time was up, they looked healthier and stronger than all those who had been eating the royal food. So from then on, the guard let them continue to eat vegetables instead of what the king provided. That happened with me here. One of the images is when I was just eating anyhow and doing whatever I liked. And then the second image is when I decided to take my health seriously and ate the right things. So that's the first lesson from the book of Daniel. Daniel is encouraged us be mindful of what we eat. Hey you, yes you, please subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Thank you. So the second lesson from the book of Daniel, don't underestimate anybody. So Nebuchadnezzar dreamt, and he needed, he called his advisors, the sorcerers, the fortune tellers to interpret. Nebuchadnezzar just called the senior staff. They left the junior staffs at home. And this applies to us. How do you treat your maids, your drivers, your cooks, people that work with you, maybe even your employees, people that you think are beneath you? How do you treat them? Do you know some of these people may be your source of deliverance? It is not something that has never happened. Some of these staff are people that end up doing something really big to save their bosses. So Daniel and his friends were not called because they were junior staff. But let's see where Daniel got to know. So at that, the king flew into a rage and ordered, that is Daniel 2:12, the execution of all the royal advisors in Babylon. So the order was issued for all of them to be killed, including Daniel and his friends. Then Daniel went to Arioch, commander of the king's bodyguard, who had been ordered to carry out the execution. Choosing his words carefully, he asked Arioch why the king had issued such a harsh order. So Arioch told Daniel what had happened. So it was at verse 15 that Daniel just heard what happened. So don't underestimate anybody. Everybody that God has created in this life have their own function, have their own place. Do not underestimate anybody, because you don't know where your deliverance will be from. Then, third lesson, speak with grace always. Speak with grace. Our words are powerful. Even what we say concerning our situations, what we say to others, there's a way we can pass a message in a very good way that the person will get it without being hurtful. Because if you look at this, they said Daniel went to that commander. He chose his words carefully. That is Daniel chapter 2, verse 14, the B side. Choosing his words carefully. Speak with grace. And like I said, as I'm speaking to you, I'm speaking to myself. Like I actually picked these lessons for myself and thought to share. I am no saint. Then the next lesson is God had all the answer. When Daniel heard what was happening, what did he do? He spoke to his friends, asked them to join him. Let's pray. Let God reveal this dream. If not, we will all be killed. Let's see. Then Daniel went to, that is Daniel 2:17. Then Daniel went home and told his friends, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, that is Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, what had happened. He told them to pray to the God of heaven for mercy and to ask him to explain the mystery to them, so that they would not be killed along with the other advisors in Babylon. Then that same night, the mystery was revealed to Daniel in a vision, and he praised the God of heaven. God has all the answers. No matter what it is, no matter your situation, no matter the issues of your life, God has all the answers. And he has proven to be true. And yeah, there are issues that linger. You're not getting it, you're not understanding what's going on. But at the end of the day, when you get your answer, you look back and say, yeah, this is why God was actually preserving me. This was why God was keeping that prayer that time to be answered. Because at the end of the day, when you receive the answer, it may even be better than what you expected. And even sometimes, even the timing may not just be right. Maybe if that thing happened for you at the time you want it, it will be harmful to you. Or you will fall into the wrong hands, or you will do the wrong things, or you will not appreciate it. So God's timing is always perfect. Then God has all the answers. On to the next lesson. You can thrive wherever God has placed you. So far you are involved in godly enterprise, you can thrive wherever. Daniel was a slave that was taken captive, that was one of the strongest kings in the Bible at that time. He was taken captive from Israel and his friends, but he thrived. He thrived in that place because God was with him. So wherever you are, you can thrive there. Let's read it. So that is Daniel 2:48. So this was after Daniel has interpreted the dream. Then he gave Daniel a high position, presented him with many splendid gifts, put him in charge of the province of Babylon, and made him the head of all the royal advisors. Daniel thrived as a slave, because putting slave and royal advisor in the same sentence, it doesn't even make sense, right? But look at what happened. He thrived. And that leads us to the next lesson. When Daniel became the royal advisor, he did not put himself like on a pedestal and say, yes, I have arrived. I am now the Mazi. I am the chief. I am the emir. Everybody bow and worship before me. Even my friends and my family and my relatives lie down and bow before me. No. He put his friends on. Let's read that. That is Daniel 2:49. At Daniel's request, the king put Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in charge of the affairs of the province of Babylon. Emphasis on at Daniel's request in verse 9. Verse 48 was him becoming the royal advisor. 49 was him asking that his friends be put on. When you get to that position, or whatever position you are now, what do you do? What do you do? How do you treat your friends? How do you treat your family? Do you recommend people? Do you put your friends on? Or you want everybody to bow before you? You want to be the leader in the group. You want to be the only one thriving. You want to only be the first to be reckoned with. You want to be the one to just give people 500 100 naira, giving them fish instead of teaching them how to fish, or placing them where they can fish. I'm not saying you should do anything dishonest to place people in places, like in positions, but there are things you can do for people. Like if you are rich or you have the money, why set people up? Why not? If you have the resources to do that, you can set people up. Instead of my friends coming to me 100 times to come and look for money, is it not better to set the person up? Except you've set the person up so many times and the person has failed. Even at that, God forgave us. I mean, he forgives us rather every time we sin. So who are we to say, oh, because the person did this, you will not put the person on? You know? Like I said, I'm speaking to myself, because as I'm sitting and talking to you, I can think of so many people that, you know, at this kind, please just leave me, I'm tired kind of thing that I've done to them. You understand? Like this kind, leave me, I have my own issues kind of thing. So as I'm speaking to you, I'm speaking to myself, and I'm going to try, well, let me not say try, I'm going to change, I'm going to turn a new leaf in respect of that. So now let's move to the next lesson, which is refuse to compromise. And that is the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Imagine you, one of the, as in the strongest king or the biggest king at that time, commanding you to do something and you refuse. As in, they so much believe in God's deliverance and God that they did not move, they did not shake. Their faith remained unshakable. What do we do these days? Any small thing you see on social media, you're already shaking. And I'm speaking to myself too, like I said. Any small thing, you're already shaking. Your boss in the office requests for SEX. Instead of you to say, no, even if you sack me, I'm not going to bend, and we're not going to do that. You just go giving. Is that what we do? You know they will gang up against you in the office if you don't join them to do that pen robbery. But you joined. But that is not what Shadrach and Meshach, they stood and God delivered them. On to the next lesson. Pride. Are you proud? Where you are, where God has placed you, you are proud, you are not humble. Let's read what happened to Nebuchadnezzar because of pride. So Daniel interpreted another dream to him, and immediately after interpreting, he warned him. Let's read the warning. Daniel 4:27. So then, your majesty, follow my advice, stop sinning, do what is right, and be merciful to the poor. Then you will continue to be prosperous. That was what Daniel said. And let's read what Nebuchadnezzar did. So Daniel 4:29. Only 12 months later, while he was walking around on the roof of his royal palace in Babylon, he said, look how great Babylon is. I built it as my capital city to display my power and might, my glory and majesty. And you know how God is. He's a jealous God. You cannot put yourself above God or in this place. That was what Nebuchadnezzar was doing here. Pride was speaking. And what did God do? God decided to humble him. The biggest king in the world then, now relegated to somebody living with animals for 7 whole years. Let me give you an example. It's like Biden. Or okay, let me come home. It's like Tinubu, our president, living in Aso Rock and going to Yankari Game Reserve. And when he gets to Yankari, not like he will live with the people of Yankari or in their town or wherever, or even in their villages. He goes into the park and starts living with the animals there. That was what happened. And trust me, Tinubu is not even as big as how Nebuchadnezzar was in those days. Because he had like almost all the world, you know, subjected to him at that point, because slavery and took all of them captives, most of them. So that was the result of, that was what happened to Nebuchadnezzar because of pride. My glory and majesty, I did it. God said humbly. So I know a lot of people that have like destroyed their future because of pride. They have spoken to people anyhow, treated people anyhow. They place themselves on a pedestal that even their helpers, when they see them, will say, no, this person is high up. Oh. They are not high up anywhere. Oh. It's because of the fake pedestal they have put themselves on. The pride over things that is not even happening in their life. And the person looks at them and says, this person is already okay. And then they move on to the next. So, pride. Humble yourself. That's the next lesson from Daniel. So the next lesson is about excellence. Be so good at what you do that even if you are not in the room, people will mention your name for good. In Christendom, we pray this prayer that where I'm not there, people should push my cause. Where I'm not there, my name should be mentioned for good. But for your name to be mentioned for good, what are you doing? Are you excellent at what God has placed in your hands? If you are excellent at what God has placed in your hands, no matter, they will mention your name, except if they are evil, right? And God will still raise somebody, even if all the people there are evil. One person will still speak for you. That's how it always works. So be so excellent that your name will be mentioned when you are not there. Let's see where that happened with Daniel. So Daniel 5:11-12. There is a man in your kingdom who has the spirit of the holy gods in him. When your father was king, this man showed good sense, knowledge and wisdom, like the wisdom of the gods. And King Nebuchadnezzar, your father, made him chief of the fortune tellers, magicians, wizards, and astrologers. He has unusual ability and is wise and skillful in interpreting dreams, solving riddles, and explaining mysteries. So send for this man Daniel, whom the king named Belteshazzar, and he will tell you what all this means. Daniel was not there. See how somebody was really proclaiming and speaking about him for good because he was excellent at work. Because the person even referred to the job, to the interpretation job he did for his father. If I buy from you, can I refer your product? Somebody asked me, where did you get this? Can I say, buy from this? Or I'll say, please, as I'm wearing it like this, I'm just managing it. Is tape that I used to tape it. If you touch me now, everything will scatter. Don't go there. Will people recommend your product, or they will tell you to go somewhere else? Because see, the one I bought, I regretted it. Let me even give you a story. Like I bought hair wig from a vendor on Instagram. This was it last month? And the person, because I was trying to save delivery, so they delivered it to one of my baby on Instagram's house. She called me and said, how much did you buy this hair? I said, see, is it new? I said, yes, it's supposed to be new. Then she sent me videos and I saw the hair. I was like, what is this? Of course, I'm not going back to that vendor. And mind you, I went to the vendor and said, why did you say, I saw a video of the hair. Why did you send me that kind of hair? The person was even still claiming, is correct, is nice. How can I ever recommend anybody to that vendor? It's not possible. Number one, I won't go back there. Number two, I can never recommend anybody to that vendor. So excellence is really important. Another lesson is hone your craft. I'm sure Daniel used to read the scrolls because you can even see it from his prayer life and how he spoke to God. He was in tune. So he honed his craft. Only thing dynamic in life is change. Things change, things evolve. Don't be there relying on your degree or the training you did in 1903 for 2024. Let me not even say 1903. Don't rely on the training you did in 1999, 2000 or something for what is going on in 2024. Things are evolving, especially in this day of technology. Things keep changing and improving. And like I said, I'm speaking to myself because I said to myself that every year I'll be doing something, like maybe a certification, a training, learn something new. But since 2020, yours truly has not done anything. Though my friends will beg to disagree because they think I'm a genius because I do social media, I did videos and I show up and all that. They think I'm a genius. But I have placed myself on a scale and I've been found wanting, because as far as I'm concerned, I've not really learned anything between 2020 and 2024. So project 20, like from now, I've already started, because I do resolutions, but I don't wait till January 1st, because every day is a new day. I've started now to look for something to do, to upgrade myself, to upgrade my skill. Hone your craft, keep improving, keep improving, keep improving, keep improving. So, another lesson from the book of Daniel. Whatever is entrusted to you, do it well. Yes, you are an employee, but how do you manage what has been entrusted to you? Because the resources do not belong to you, does it mean you should mismanage it? Because the money is not from your pocket, the business is not your business. Is that the main reason why you should mismanage somebody's business? Because you're an employee, you're not the one that invested. You don't know that the way you treat other people's business is the way they will treat your business. And by the way you treat your business, somebody else's business, is the way you will treat your business. So whatever has been placed into your hands, do it well, so that your name will be spoken for good. So, to the next. So Daniel has integrity. He was honest, because when his former superiors, who are now his junior officers, they were looking for what to do to put him in trouble, they could not find. Hear what they said. Daniel 6:4. Then the other supervisors and the governors, they tried to find something with the way Daniel administered the empire, but they couldn't, because Daniel was, one, reliable, and two, did not do anything wrong, or neither was he dishonest. Can that be said of you and I? Selah. Daniel 6:5. Because of the way he was, they saw that they could not find any issues with him or his work or the way he lived his life. Guess what they did? They now decided to do underhand thing, an underhand thing. They said to each other, we're not going to find anything. That is Daniel 6:5. We're not going to find anything to which to accuse this Daniel, unless it is something in connection with his religion. Can that be said of you and I? Any small peer pressure, we have bowed. Small pressure, we have moved. Small thing somebody posted on social media, we have been influenced negatively. So they had to go really low. They went like really low, made the king to sign that thing into law about don't pray except to the god of Babylon or whatever. Then they themselves were the ones that went to meet the king and said, your favorite staff, you said they should not pray, he has prayed though. The king, because of how excellent Daniel was, loved him so much that he was looking for a loophole in the law so that he can save Daniel, but he couldn't. Those Daniel's colleagues went back to the king and said, your favorite staff that we told you did not obey, you have not done anything. So the king had to put him in the lion's den. But guess who could not eat? Guess who could not sleep? Guess who went to the lion's den to go and confirm if the God of Daniel has saved him? The king. He could not sleep, he could not do anything, he could not function until he went back at the break of dawn to the lion's den to call out Daniel, that Daniel, has your God, who you believed in, has he saved you? All this for excellence. Back to that excellence talk again, and integrity and reliability and honesty. To the next lesson. Daniel preached and spoke about his God to these people without opening his mind or opening any scroll to preach to them. His action, his behavior, the way he lived his life, the way he was unyielding, the way he did not bow, spoke to them, spoke to them about his God. Right? Let's see what happened and what the king did because of Daniel's lifestyle. Then the king wrote to the people of all the nations, races, and the language on earth, greetings. I command that throughout my empire, everyone should fear and respect Daniel's God. He's a living God, and he will rule forever. His kingdom will never be destroyed, and his power will never come to an end. He saves and rescues. He performs wonders and miracles in heaven and on earth. He saved Daniel from being killed by the lions. That is the king saying all this. Daniel did not open scroll for him. He did not preach. He did not say open to the book of Genesis. It was just his lifestyle that preached. What is our lifestyle saying to other people? What is my lifestyle saying to other people? What is your lifestyle saying to other people? People are hungry, you're opening the Bible for them. Is it Bible you want to open, or you give them food? Give them food. Trust me, you don't need to invite them 2 times to your church. They will follow you. Your neighbors are seeing how you live your life, you do things, and then you go back to them and invite them to your church. Will they come with you? Like I said, I'm speaking to myself. So, to the next lesson. God entrusted Daniel with secrets, hence the dreams. He was revealing like a lot of things that were to come to Daniel in dreams. God trusted Daniel. That's why he was revealing all the secrets to him. Your friend entrusted the story of her life or one particular issue she has, and then the next thing you told your other friend, and then your other friend. The one that even surprises me, the one people say that is the husband and wife, they must discuss other people. Like, I don't know, it's subject to discussion though. Maybe tell me in the comments what you think. Must my friend discuss my matter with her husband? If I tell you something, like, do you need to discuss it with your husband? It has happened to me before, where a friend's husband came and downloaded and was advising me on the things I told his wife in confidence. In my head, I'm like, even if you guys discuss me, why would you come and say it to my face? You understand? So people trust you with the story of their life, and then next thing you tell your friend. And like I said, I'm talking to myself too, because I am actually really guilty of that. So let's do better. Then lastly, Daniel was so faithful that God wanted him to be in his kingdom. That the last verse in the book of Daniel, Daniel 12:13, God said to Daniel, and you, Daniel, be faithful to the end, then you will die and you will rise to receive your reward at the end of time. I hope you enjoyed this Bible study session with me. This is the first of its kind, and I hope I'm able to bring more of something like that. This channel is basically about me, my life, whatever is going on. I don't have a niche. I'm the niche, actually. So if you enjoyed this video, I'm sure you're going to enjoy my very first video on YouTube. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.